popular TikTok cross-dresser Abuja Area Mama has been reported killed in the streets of Abuja
by yet to be identified individuals on Thursday morning.
A 33-year-old transgender TikTok star from Nigeria has shocked her followers and the LGBTQ+ community in the country.
Nigerian trans TikTok star Abuja Area Mama found dead. The battered body of Abuja Area Mama, life of a transgender woman in the sex worker in Nigeria. Mama was reportedly on her way to Nigeria.
Cannot judge me, now God the judge. Even you where they judge me, you get your own story to come. Exactly. Now God the judge. Now God the judge. You don't have the right to judge.
This is unfortunate. Popular TikTok cross-dresser Abuja Area Mama has been reported killed in the streets of Abuja.
Hello Nigeria, I'm Philemon Ajeye, the host of Faithfully Outspoken by Phil, a podcast that seeks to explore the intersect of faith and sexuality with the aim of preaching and teaching deliverance to the LGBT / sexual minority community through the power of the gospel, thereby harmonizing hope, inspiring resonating faith, unwrapping gospel truths that set us all free, and tackling tough topics with grace, truth, and a whole lot of love. As a believer in Christ, saved unto good works, and a concerned Nigerian citizen that seeks the worth and equal value of all, especially the vulnerable amongst us, like the LGBT community, I see it necessary to make this submission on a tragic incident that has a lot of lessons for us to learn as a nation, but more importantly, a traumatizing reminder of the reality of many in our nation. I'm talking about the gruesome murder of the popular cross-dresser known as Abuja Area Mama, with the real name Ifeanyi Benedit, born on the 20th of April 1991 from Ebonyi State. After a long and productive day on a Thursday evening, tuning in on television for news catch-up before bedtime, I was hit with the heartbreaking news of the murder of the famous cross-dresser known as Abuja Area Mama, which happened the previous night on Wednesday, 7th August 2024. His lifeless body shone on the roadside. I couldn't believe my eyes or ears. The first questions that struck me were, what happened? Who killed him? Another jungle justice, I muttered. The bone of contention here is the fact that no one whosoever has the right to take the life of another person. You may not agree with their life choices, but you don't have the right to take laws into your hands. May I make this clear at this point, that this submission is not to support cross-dressing or promote the practice of homosexuality in any way, but to call out the wrong, seek justice for the bereaved, and draw the attention of the people of our nation, and most importantly, the government, for a humane approach in handling the issue of LGBT in our country. This is another jungle justice of many that have taken place within the community with no hope of justice or solutions provided. The question now is to the assailants and the homophobes in the country: what has changed? Has your life become better? Or has cross-dressing or homosexuality left the country? I tried to move on from the heartbreaking murder news after doing what I thought was the most I could, posting on social media to seek justice, but his story kept on erupting in my thoughts with a push to do something that has led me to making this submission. There's a lot to learn from this incident as a nation, and like I always say on my podcast, we will never know why someone is gay until we hear their story. He was very open about his life and recently shared his life story on interviews before his death, which are available on YouTube, The Kenny Kendra Show, and Living with Deca George. I strongly recommend you watch. A victim of sexual abuse at the age of 10-11 years, men were sleeping with him by simply bribing him with biscuits and bread in the impoverished community where he grew. He fell for their cheap traps as a result of not being properly fed at home. His father didn't like him because he was effeminate and treated his other siblings much better than him. Kindly take a look at this video.
I was already doing gay something like men used to enter me that time. I know now I want
At what
TikTok.
age?
11 and 10, 11.
For 10, 11, you
I will not lie.
You don't begin fuck.
Yes, then all these street guys in my area at gate 2 and they gate 2, they will just call me that time. They will carry biscuit or bread. Say, Ifeanyi, come and collect bread, come collect biscuit. They go, they play with me. So before you know what happen, they will come carry me enter inside their room. Begin they do all those kind of things. So, but that time I was not doing it as a prostitute. I was very small that time. If you just come up for street, enter street, you go see some guys, you go say, if I come collect biscuit now, and some of them are gay guys, most of them are gay guys. You know, say gay people, they're there everywhere. Sometimes some people they do and you know going to see them they do. So when they see you, they behave like woman, they catwalk. They go say, come now, come collect this biscuit now, come, I want that you bread, I want that you 15 naira, I want that you 20 naira. As you enter inside their house, they go give you the thing, they go they remove your clothes, carry their agbola, they shook you. That time they will carry vaccine, they rub me for my bekus, my anus, they shook and small. If I they shout, they go say, I go down small. I pass. I don't want to talk everything from my mouth because sometimes my story they somehow.
I know. It's they emotional.
Yeah, it looks very, it looks somehow.
So
After a Christmas trip to his native Ebonyi state, he was left behind intentionally in the village with his grandmother and mother's elder sister, who didn't care about him but her children only. The hardship became unbearable and his grandmother advised him to return home. She couldn't understand why a parent would give birth and abandon a child. They didn't send any form of support for his welfare, and seeing his condition was severe, his grandmother advised him to return back to Abuja, but unfortunately had no resources to assist him back home. He found his way to the car park at the age of 15, helped with transport fare by a stranger who felt pity on him. Stunned by how haggard and young he looked, carrying a polythene bag, wearing torn shorts with a bathroom slipper on, the stranger watched him as he rushed a meal that was purchased for him out of pity. Upon getting home in Abuja at night from Ebonyi State, his father chased him out of the house with a cutlass, even with his mom begging. His dad insisted and chased him away to return back to the village. He was then helped by a lady from Edo State who had a hair salon and who he had worked for earlier before he was taken to the village. She decided to house and feed him as he helped her with chores in return. Eventually, he was introduced into prostitution by this same lady from Edo State at the age of 15. She dressed him up in a unisex manner as she pinned him to alhajis and white men who slept with him without protection. She extorted him for 4 years, paying him peanuts as a pimp from the services he rendered to these men. When he confronted her in the course of time, she got defensive and threw him out of the house. He left and went into prostitution full-time on his own at the age of 19 until his death at 33 years. He was into prostitution for 18 years, he said. In his own words, he said in an interview on the Ken Kendra show,
in this life where we dey,
Exactly.
everybody gets wetin make am dey do bad thing
or good thing.
or good thing. Okay, so this street where you see me dey today, the hustle. Not my mind to do and sharp. Na condition carry me start am. Condition and frustration. I did not plan to become a prostitute, like to become gay prostitute.
he had this to say about his family. Take a look.
It not be say blood is thicker than water. You see my parents, but I will never forgive them. But I don't forgive them because they are my blood. Now them born me. I know now them follow contribute for wetin push me enter this street life where I dey do today.
He didn't finish primary 6 as a child. Later on, his father died from stroke. He had to sell 2 of his cars he was leasing out as taxi to fend for his father's health, but eventually his father died. Take a look, he had this to say about his dad.
But my papa, I don't forgive. Even before he died, I traveled to village go see him when stroke started to catch him. He was crying, begging me to forgive me. Like say, what he do me, like you can't check the judge and because of what he do me. I say, Papa, I don't forgive.
What a heart of gold in a human. He also said this:
You cannot judge me, na God dey judge. Even you wey dey judge me, you get your own sin wey you dey commit.
Exactly.
Na God dey judge. Na only God get the right to judge me. You don't have the right to judge me.
Hate crime is prevalent within the LGBT community, and this is mainly because many still think homosexuality is a choice and have zero empathy towards members of the community because they think they chose such lifestyle. We just never know why someone is gay until we hear that story like Area Mama. This jungle justice isn't the first, and it's sad how many will rejoice over it. The reality is that homosexuality is here and is here to stay. It's either we face it head on and seek ways on how we can manage it, or we face the dire consequences of the future of our children. Because even worse is the reality that the LGBT plus community is having the last laugh globally. After being oppressed for a long time, they are dominating the world, taking up positions of influence and power, be it in fashion, music, film, adult and children entertainment, politics, education, or the just concluded Olympics in Paris, with the controversial opening ceremony parodying the Last Supper in the Bible. Area Mama is a product of a failed society, who was birthed by parents who failed in carrying out their responsibilities. This could be born out of ignorance and shame of having a gay son in a homophobic and conservative country. It's time to change the narrative and trajectory of the future. We can do something as a nation regardless of how the world has chosen to embrace and celebrate the practice of homosexuality. As a nation, the Same-Sex Marriage Prohibition Act, signed by former President Goodluck Jonathan in 2014, January, has opened the door of hate and legalized prejudice that has birthed the jungle justice and inhumane acts and treatments of the LGBT community. The prevalence of harassment, abuse, and violence towards the community is evident, and worse is the stigma, shame, and sanctions facing the LGBT community. What many take for granted is a dream for the community, like education, work, healthcare, protection under the law, and mental health. You hardly see them in the statistics of mental health. Positive public perception. This leads them to a closeted lifestyle that is stressful and isolating. As a nation, we have decided not to accept, promote, or celebrate the practice of homosexuality because it is against our moral values and religious beliefs. The Bible teaches us to preach to the lost and get them saved. Also to pray for the lost that they may see the light of the gospel and turn from their evil ways, as we reach out with the love of Christ that is never condemning. Every human has the right to live. Basic human rights is due to all. Where is our empathy and value for human lives? We can't continue to turn deaf ears to the issue of homosexuality. What is the future for those who need help? It's time for a hate crime bill to do the least within or for the LGBT community. In as much as we have taken a firm and stand against the practice of homosexuality with the valid reasons, what have we done to help? How do we help in creating a safe space for the community to seek help and break the stigma around homosexuality? How do we bring them close by making them feel inclusive and open to share their struggles, like a child struggling with gender or identity crisis or gender dysphoria at an early stage that can be nurtured, corrected if detected early? The loudest voices in mainstream media are pro-gay, but that's not the opinion or standpoint of many members of the LGBT community. Some need help and want to come out from the issue of homosexuality. But how do we seek help in and from a nation that is not empathetic towards them? It's time to rethink our actions and inactions with a proactive measure to help the community and for the sake of posterity, because we are running out of time. Every great leader is concerned about the well-being of every citizen, whether of a minority or majority group. It's my prayer that this mother gets justice and that our nation learns from this incident and seeks solutions on how to handle the issue of homosexuality with a fresh approach and the future in mind. And Philemon Ajeye, God bless you and God bless Nigeria.